Welcome, students. Your lesson today is called Solving Equations Involving Absolute Value. Now, first thing we're going to do we're just going to solve expressions with absolute value. Absolute value, of course, is the distance from 0 to the number on a number line. So it's a distance. It's never negative. When you find the final result of absolute value, it's never negative. In this one, we have m plus 6 minus 14 when m is 4. So we'll rewrite it, plugging 4 in for m inside the absolute value bars, minusing 14. Absolute value is kind of like parentheses. You want to work what's inside of there first. So 4 plus 6 becomes the absolute value of 10, and then minus 14. We're going to find the absolute value of 10 next, which is 10 minus 14. The answer is negative 4. You always want to get rid of your absolute value bars before you finally answer a problem. Let's do this again. 23 minus the absolute value of 3 minus 4 times 2 inside the bars. Then we'll work out what's inside. We'll do 4 times 2 order of operations. That makes 8. So we have the absolute value of 3 minus 8. And the 23 minus is in front. Then we're going to work this out. 23 minus 8 is the absolute value of negative 5. And that should be an absolute straight bar. And then 23 minus. We're going to get rid of our absolute value bars. The absolute value of negative 5 is 5. And then 23 minus 5. And then we'll work that out to get our final answer of 18. All right, let's go on. Now, when we actually solve an absolute value equation, like the one you're looking at, there's two cases, two possible answers. In the first case, the expression inside the absolute value symbol could be a positive number or a 0. In case 2, the expression inside the absolute value bars could be a negative. And that's always the possibility. There's two possible cases that can happen. So when you solve these, you have to consider y could be a positive 3, or it could be a negative 3. And if you want, you could check that. What is the absolute value of negative 3? 3. What is the absolute value of 3? 3. So y could represent negative 3 or 3. So when you solve absolute value equations, you're going to have two answers. And we're going to look at a couple here to do. Y plus 2 equals 4. So when you set these up, you're going to set up two situations, two cases. You're going to do the absolute value. Well, you don't have to write the absolute value bars when you set up your two cases. It'd be y plus 2 could equal a positive 4, like it says, or y plus 2 could equal a negative 4. Now we're going to work that out. Just solve it like you know how. Equations, minus 2 on both sides. Y could be a positive 2, or we'll subtract 2, and y could be a negative 6. It could be either of these situations. And if you want, check it. Plug it in. What is negative 6 plus 2? The absolute value of it. And that would come out to negative 4. And the absolute value of negative 4 is positive 4. And the same thing, if you put 2 plus 2 is 4. And then you're asked to graph these on a number line. And we have 2 and negative 6. So start out here, negative 6, negative 5, negative 4, negative 3, negative 2, negative 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, and so forth. And you're just going to put a dot at positive 2 and then a dot at negative 6. And you've graphed it on a number line. And that's all they're talking about doing there. All right, let's work on the next problem. And this one's kind of a, I'm just going to show you. I don't know if you're going to see this on your paper or not. You'll have to just look and watch for it. But in this situation, if you have the absolute value of anything equaling a negative, the answer to this problem is no solution. That's not possible. The absolute value of anything cannot equal negative. Now let's keep going and look at a few more. We've got 2t minus 4 equals 8. So we're going to set up both of our possible situations. We have 2t minus 4 equaling positive 8, or 2t minus 4 equaling negative 8 with the bars gone. It can be either of these situations. So now we'll solve, add 4, and we'll get 2t equaling 12. Divide by 2, and we'll get t equals 6. Go over here, we'll add 4. 2t could equal a negative 4. Divide by 2, and t could also equal negative 2. And then you would graph those on a number line, negative 2 and positive 6 as your two possible outcomes. So remember, every time you set up an absolute value equation, you're going to have two problems. Drop the bars. It could be f plus 5 equal positive 17, or f plus 5 equaling a negative 17. And you'll get two answers to graph. Let's go on to the next part of our lesson. Okay, here we are. Next thing you're going to do on your assignment, you're going to have to write an equation that has absolute value in it for each graph. And this is not too hard as long as you watch what I'm going to tell you. Every absolute value equation starts with x minus. That's in every one of them. And then the bars end. The number that goes in after the x minus is always going to be your midpoint. That is the point that's in between the two dots that are graphed. And then it's always going to equal a distance, because that's what absolute value is. It's going to be the distance from the midpoint to one of the dots. All right, so let's plug in. First, find your midpoint between these two dots. And we would have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here's your midpoint. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's 5 over. We had to go 5 to get here. The midpoint is 22, positive 22. So we write out our equation. It's always x minus. The midpoint goes here, and the distance, which is our 5, is out here. And this is our answer. And it really is that simple. Let's do it again. Always start out with x minus. We're going to find our midpoint. It would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There's 12 in between, so we'll go 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is right here. The number that represents that dot is negative 3. And like I said, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is the distance to get to the midpoint. So if negative 3 is our midpoint, we're going to put x minus negative 3 and then equaling 6. And then we just work that out in the center. It's x plus 3, because two negatives make a positive, equaling 6. And there's your answer for that one. Let's see what I have for you now. One more. Maybe two more. Okay, let's find the midpoint on these two. That's easy to see. It's right here. The distance to the midpoint. 1, 2, 3, 4. Distance 4, 0, midpoint. So you're going to start out with x minus midpoint 0, end your absolute value, equaling 4. That's an answer. Or you could simply just say the absolute value of x is 4. Either of these answers would be acceptable. Let's go do another one real quick, because we're about out of time. 1 is our midpoint. 1, 2, 3 is our distance. So it'll be x minus 1. Remember, it's always x minus, then you plug in your midpoint, equaling 3. And you're finished again. Next, I have your assignment that I want you to bring into class. I want you to complete these problems. We'll make this be number 1, this be number 2. These are 3 and 4. And then we'll come down here for 5 and 6. So 6 problems.